Let's make some sense of the chaos. Shady, do you blame Robert Saleh for the Jets' mess?
No, I don't. I think as a defense of coach, right? He's the head coach, but his thing is defense. That's what he's brought there for. He's done his job. They've been a good, solid defense. And it's hard to be a great defense when your quarterback is turning the ball over. Your quarterback's not extending drives, putting points up. That's hard to do. So I blame a lot of this thing on Zach Wilson and also just Mother Nature of football. They put all this money into Aaron Rodgers to come there and play, right, and be a great player. And he gets hurt with the third, fourth play. I mean, so I can't really blame everybody. I got to blame a little bit of that Mother Nature of guys getting hurt on that bad turf.
Yeah.
And also bad quarterback play.
Yeah, this is all on Zach. And I believe Robert Saleh gave him chance after chance after chance after chance after chance to show yourself. You was the #2 overall pick to our organization. We drafted you. And I believe that they gave him so many opportunities to go out there and have success, and he just could not do it. If anybody's watching these Jets games with their own 2 eyeballs, you have not seen Zach Wilson make a throw yet to where you're like, okay, that's why he's out there. Zach Wilson is not seeing the game well. Zach Wilson is not even looking at his first reads. If you watch the Buffalo Bills game, it's a handoff or the offensive coordinator is calling a screen pass. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know how many receivers had to catch that game. I turned it off, because he wasn't even throwing the ball down the field. And receivers are winning, but he's not even seeing the game the right way. So for me, you can go to the coach if you want to, but if you're watching these Jets football games and you seeing this defense dominate, and then you go into the offensive side of the ball and really just with your own eyes watching how Zach Wilson is playing football, he was not playing good football, and this is all on Zach.
All of it.
All of it.
All of it?
Every last bit of it.
I can't do all of it.
Ooh, what?
Because if we did all of it, then they should look much better when he's not there, right? They should be improved. But they're not.
This week.
They're bad without him. They're bad with him, and we're going to find out this week.
Yep.
You feel good about it? You feel good about Tim Boyle this week?
I don't really feel good about the Jets, so.
Why don't you feel good about the Jets?
Because, the Jets, I just feel like emotionally, I think this team is checked out. When you watch the defense take the field, they're like, man, we just got off the field.
And why shouldn't they be? Why shouldn't they feel that way?
Because I think the guy under the center.
Yeah.
Look, Zach is responsible for a lot of the struggles that the Jets have. But the Jets struggle when Zach's not there, too. So the math isn't mathing for being all his fault if he's not there.
What you mean he's not there?
So let's just take the rookie season out, right? We give rookies a pass. He was bad his rookie season. Right? We didn't feel good about how his rookie season went, but we all say, okay, it's a rookie season. We got to give guys time to develop, right? Nobody's freaking out about Bryce Young. He's a rookie, right? Rookies are great. That's great. If he's not great, maybe he needs some more time. So we won't count the rookie season. Last year, right, he missed the first 3 games. They went 1-2. He came back. They were up. They were down. Week 11, he doesn't take blame for the loss. They end up benching him. They go 1-2.
Right.
So they're not good without him. They're not good with him. So then what are you? Are you a good football team? Are you a bad football team that has a bad quarterback? Are you just a bad football team? I don't know. But what I know is that they struggle with him and they struggle without him. So I can't say that it's all Zach Wilson's fault because when Zach Wilson is not there and he is not responsible for the loss, they still lose. So whose fault is it? I have to put some blame, one, on the individuals who brought Zach Wilson in. Keep in mind, Zach Wilson did come from BYU. We were all a little surprised when we heard, wow, he's locked into that spot. They said before the draft, we're going with him. Like, whoa, because he jumped some other guys that we were thinking that might be going in that spot. But all right, you feel good, feel great about what you saw from Zach Wilson. Who's responsible for getting Zach Wilson there? Zach Wilson didn't ask to go to the Jets, so someone has to be responsible for that assessment as well. And there's busts and bad choices all the time, but someone makes those choices. So are they not responsible for bringing him there? And then my biggest point in all of this is you had some bad luck, all right? Whether maybe it's because he is pushing 40 that Aaron Rodgers got hurt. Maybe it's because the offensive line wasn't great, which someone up here said was going to be a problem. Don't know who, but turned out to be right about that. Maybe that's the reason why. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just the football gods, right? Mother Nature of football, right? That Aaron Rodgers isn't here. But when he went down, you did nothing. You came back with Zach Wilson and said, this is our guy. Forget all that stuff that we did. Forget the fact that we benched him last year. Forget the fact that he wasn't good last year or his rookie season. We're going to roll with Zach Wilson again. And if things go badly, guess who we're going to blame? Zach, you already knew he wasn't good. That's why you went and got Aaron Rodgers. You would not move off of the second overall pick for Aaron Rodgers if you had a thought that he was going to develop into your franchise quarterback. So this is your fault. It's got to be some of it. It can't be all your fault, but it's got to be some of your fault.
I just push back on the fact that, like, okay, so Saleh's a defensive coach, right? Yeah. He comes over there and they're doing really, really good defense, right? This year and a lot last year, okay? So you talked about him when he's not there, the quarterback. I think they have bad quarterback play. If you look at the Jets team, that's the one part that they're really missing. And then the draft part. So it's like, okay, well, you got somebody responsible for drafting Zach Wilson.
The class was bad.
The class was bad. So if I'm in a class, if I'm in a class, right, and we're drafting, we need a quarterback, right? That's why everybody takes shots at some of you guys, like Trey Lance. It wasn't supposed to be that high, but we need a quarterback to go to the next level, so we get Trey Lance. But if you look at all the quarterbacks in that draft class, other than Trevor Lawrence, you got Lance, you got Fields, you got Matt Jones.
It's a bad draft class.
So I'm saying, like, what are you supposed to do?
Saleh's the head coach, though. He's not the defensive coach. So either you are responsible for the whole team or you're not.
No, what I'm saying is, like, what other options would you have?
I mean, he just got so much bad luck. I don't know what to do. What am I supposed to do? He just bad luck after bad luck after bad luck?
I mean, there's free agents out there and all that possibly he could have got. But for me, this is the dude that you drafted in the second round. Obviously, you wanted first round. Number 2 overall. But this is a dude that you drafted, number 2 overall. You thought Aaron was going to be the quarterback. Right. He got hurt, and it's like, okay, a newfound belief in this young fella. And I think this young fella has failed.
But see, this is the thing, though. Everybody's like, well, why did he play him again? I'm like, well, first of all, if I pick the number 2 pick overall, right, you got to give him some chances to play to see what we got. So then when you see, like, give him another shot. You give them a lot of shots. If you ever watch first-round draft picks that don't be that good, and they always find themselves on the team, why is that?
They gonna get
first round always get picks. And then like, Aaron Rodgers, that's why I couldn't blame everything on I give a lot of it to Zach. I gave a little bit to Saleh because he is that coach, but Aaron Rodgers, you go out there to get we need a quarterback, let's go get one. We get a Hall of Fame dude. And then 4 plays, he gets hurt. Yeah. Like, and so I just, when we taking this blame thing, we got to be, like, serious about it because it's hard to just say he gets everything or why shouldn't he get everything?
I don't think he should. I don't think any of it is everything. I think Saleh is to blame. I think the choice of taking Zach Wilson is to blame. I think Zach Wilson is to blame. Like, he's had opportunities and he's not played well, nor has he handled all of it perfectly either. Yeah. But he's a young player. I'm just saying, if you're looking at where the Jets are right now, we know they have a ton of talent. That's why we talked about them the way we did leading up and having Aaron Rodgers there. That's why we talked about them potentially making the Super Bowl and how many playoff games were they going to win going into this. Not just because of the quarterback play, which we all believe Aaron Rodgers is the first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the best ever played, but because of everything else they had around him, including the defense. I'm just saying, you chose this situation. You knew what Zach was, or Aaron Rodgers would not have been there. So, look what the Vikings just did. Yeah. The Vikings lose Kirk Cousins, Achilles injury, and do what? They're like, oh, well, the season's over? No. Like, go make some moves. Be aggressive. I can't sit here and cry for you when you came out with the same exact situation that you had last year that you chose to move off of and not say some of this is your fault.
It just sucks because I feel like everybody is doing their job. Like, I feel like if Coach Saleh, I know you're the head coach, but you're the DC, I feel like the defense is playing well. I feel like them defensive players is playing well, right? When you watch the receivers, if you can, I got to play. I mean, my man Garrett Wilson is cooking dudes. If you turn Garrett Wilson tape on, he's winning. And the ball ain't even coming. Look at this play right here. He's the number 1 wide receiver, right? And like, he the number, he the number 1. And you not even looking over there. Like, it ain't even no passes down the football field. And I understand you can say offensive line, well, he got pressure. There's a lot of times he cleaned in that pocket, too, and the ball is not going down the field. As I watch the games, I feel like, dang, everybody doing their job but one position.
My issue with Zach Wilson and why I blame Zach Wilson, he hasn't gotten any better. And football brings something to the table. I was never the most athletic, but I was smart, so I probably wasn't going to bust the coverage. Now, you have dudes that were athletic, but they might not be in the right place at the right time. Zach Wilson, who and what are you? What does he do well? He's not athletic. You don't see him making any phenomenal, mind-blowing scrambles. He's not on time. He's not cerebral. I don't know what he is and what he does well. That's my issue with Zach Wilson is I don't even know what to write home about. Justin Fields, at least he's going to get out the pocket and get busy. Trevor Lawrence, he's going to throw some dimes here and there. But Zach Wilson, what does he do well? Now, my issue, though, with management, to Joy's point, you identified the wrong person. So you started with the false premise, and you're trying to make everything else right. And the problem in life, if you ever start with the false premise, if you start with wrong information, you're going to keep trying to look to make that information right. The Jets are in a dilemma because they believe Zach Wilson is a number 2 overall talent. So they keep playing and playing and playing, waiting for him to be a number 2 overall talent, when in all honesty, he's just not a number 2 overall talent. That's not how good he is. We do the same thing inversely with Brock Purdy. We're waiting for Brock Purdy to look like a 7th-round pick. If Brock Purdy would have been drafted number 2 overall and Zach Wilson would have been drafted last overall, we never would have heard of Zach Wilson. And Brock Purdy, we'd be saying, yo, they're going to have to pay him in excess of $250 million. So my issue with the Jets is the false premise that they started all on. And, Shady, Zach ain't got no better.
So my thing's like, what do you want them to do? Y'all keep saying it like, they made a great move by going to get Aaron Rodgers, okay? He gets hurt. So what are you supposed to do then?
I would have moved off of him sooner.
And go and do what?
I probably would have tried to be aggressive and get Dobbs, but we keep bragging about Dobbs like Dobbs is all that. Dobbs is a great story, but I think Dobbs is 3-10 as a starter, so we can all kind of calm down on that. But at least maybe try it again to go get Flacco. I would have got Carson.
Well, hold up. See, this is my issue when people talk about these things. I ask all my friends, they like, oh, man, the Jets, they need a quarterback. I'm like, okay, so who? Joe Flacco? What?
I feel you.
When Joe Flacco played last year,
with the Jets, it wasn't good.
Not good.
It wasn't good.
Right? Right? Yeah. So then who? Carson Wentz?
I would have gotten Wentz.
Why?
I would have gotten Wentz.
Why?
Because I think he's 31 years old and he has at least shown you a ceiling.
Yeah, but when we seen him play recently, right? Last year, we seen what it looked like.
It wasn't great.
So my thing's like,
it was better than this.
But I'm saying when you a little better, maybe a little better.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
But there are quarterback talent. There's quarterback talent around the league. You could have gone. You could have traded for someone. They told us Zach wasn't the guy when they went and got Aaron Rodgers.
Right, correct.
I guess what my point is what information did you think you were going to get other than just straight up hoping that Zach Wilson was going to be better? Did we not know that Zach Wilson was exactly this at the end of last season?
I think we thought he'd be better.
Why? Why did we think he'd be better?
But Zach wasn't the starter, though. So y'all keep...
That's what I'm saying, though. So when Aaron went down...
Got hurt, right, boom.
Right, boom. Okay, so he's down. Like, you did everything right. The roster is great. We feel like we're moving in the right direction. Aaron's there. Everybody's happy. We're excited. The team is loving him. He's getting along. Like, everything is tracking.
Right.
And then, boom, he's injured.
Boom, hurt. Okay.
Okay. Do something. You knew Zach was bad. Like, nothing that's happened with Zach Wilson this year is surprising to me at all. And it shouldn't be surprising to them because you did it. That's why you got Aaron Rodgers in the first place. Taylor Heineke, Josh Dobbs, Cooper Rush, Gardner Minshew. Go trade for somebody. Go trade for someone. Tell me that you're still trying because what you do is immediately. Because what you're saying is, okay, well, you know what? You're right. Because when this happened, we all asked, should you go and get somebody?
Right.
And Cam Newton's name came up and a bunch of other names came up. And we talked about there's other talent around the league you could have traded for. You could have done something. And yes, you would have to give something up. But if you're trying to win this season, then you do that because you already knew what Zach Wilson was. This was hopes and dreams and wishes.
I just think that it's a matter of, okay, you don't want to get somebody you got to pay so much money to because you know you got Aaron Rodgers coming back next year. That's one. And the second thing is, like, all these names we keep throwing out, like, okay,
not good either.
So you said, Cam Newton, I love Cam, but Cam at this day and age, I don't know, was he trained or not, but that's Cam. You said Heineke, who else you said? Dobbs. Minshew. So if them guys, Minshew's pretty good. I like him, right? But if you had all them other guys, Joe Flacco.
I didn't say Joe Flacco.
How many more games do you think that they're going to win more than Zach?
Let's say.
Because they all in the same table.
No, Zach is bad.
Okay, but some other dudes ain't that good either. They just okay.
They're not. It's not like they're high-level starters. But I'm saying if it's a difference between winning 2 more games, it's a difference between actually having a chance and
my question is, when would you have made the move?
Immediately.
But you can't make it immediately. The reason I wouldn't have made it immediately, I can't say you can't. I would have made it immediately is because we all agree Zach needed to develop.
Yeah.
Zach didn't start his whole rookie year because of injuries. He didn't start his whole last year because of injuries. So if we don't think that a player is a second-year player until they've played 16, 17 games, Zach, I think, had only played 25 coming into this season. I would have given Zach the first stat.
I gave him a game or two.
I would have given him a little bit of time.
Because you know the system, you know everything, you know the practice, you know everything. We're a new quarterback, you got to learn everything.
You got to learn everything.
So I think I would have gave him a game or two, and then if it looked bad, then maybe try to make a move. But my question is, we keep talking about these moves because it's easy to say, but like where? You know what I mean?
I just gave you names, though.
But my thing is, too, though, we saying move quickly and all that. He beat the Bills, whether it was defense
or not.
That's the other thing. 1-0.
That's the other thing. They were 4-4.
Bills are the Bills, right?
They were 4-4.
Then he lost and he won 3 straight.
Correct.
So you can't come off
The dilemma is, when do you make the...
And that's why I feel like this is the right time because you have put 3 consecutive games of bad play on tape, and we have lost.
Yeah.
They did
You know-
the exact
you
same
know what
thing
I'm
last
saying?
year.
So now
they
it's
did the
time to
exact
go.
same thing last year.
But it's tough to move on him when you
They
win it,
ran
though.
off some games and got convinced, and then they started losing, and then they benched him. They did the exact same thing. I don't know. To me, I'm just like, this is not a serious situation. Then, like, what am I supposed to feel bad about here? Other than Aaron Rodgers going down, which is a complete, like, okay, that's the worst. Sucks for everyone. Can't control that.
Plays. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible. But like, but it's like, what do you want me to say
It's
here?
also hard pressed though because all the names you mentioned, Taylor Heineke has started in place of Desmond Ridder.
And he been losing.
And Desmond Ridder started after the
But
bye.
my point is,
He
like,
been losing.
the Falcons weren't about to give him up because he's
No,
low-key
they
their
weren't going
starter.
to get. He was their
Minshew
starter.
ain't
Gardner
going
Minshew ain't
nowhere.
going nowhere because he low-key their starter.
And he's a smart vet
They
for a young
had
quarterback.
a rookie quarterback. So maybe they would have moved off.
I'm saying not when you're saying they should have. Remember, game one, Anthony Richardson got hurt.
Yeah.
And then after that, Anthony Richardson was put down after the third game, after the fourth game, excuse me. So the Colts weren't moving off of
He
him.
started against the Ravens.
Minshew been playing. Minshew been playing.
So this
this
is just a series of unfortunate events for the Jets, I guess.
But Zach should. To me, Zach has to get better.
Zach should, would, could,
Zach
would,
has
what?
to get better.
We know what he was.
I agree with you, though. After Aaron Rodgers got hurt and then they had a couple games, right, and they started going downhill, okay, let's make a move. But my question is, like, who? Because even Dobbs, when Dobbs was with the Cardinals, he was playing solid, but they were still losing.
1-8.
Well,
They're still losing.
Okay, so I guess my question is this.
Okay.
What do the Jets want? Because if you're trying to stay afloat for the potential of Aaron Rodgers coming back, to me, you make some sort of move to get someone who you feel at least can win you the difference
That's the
difference
question,
above
though.
2 more games. If there's a difference between 2 games or none with Zach Wilson, like this potential step-in player wins you 2 more games than you have now, right? Which puts you in a completely different position in the AFC. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, wins for
okay,
sure,
so wins above replacement, is that worth it to you? Because otherwise, the Jets season is just lost, and we need to stop stressing out about them.
I just don't know if them names that you...
It's lost?
I don't know if them names is good enough to win games. That's what I'm saying.
I think a player like that could win you 2 more games with this roster. I think they could.
But I'm saying...
But who knows?
I don't know.
What I do know is Zach Wilson is doing the exact same thing that Zach Wilson has always done.
Yeah.
There's nothing changed about this player. Whether it is his fault or not, I agree. He's not lived up to his potential, whether it's because he's not good enough or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, how are we surprised that this is what it looks like? I don't know what new information we got when Aaron Rodgers went down other than them pitching us that he was the guy.
They won a couple games, and he was like, let's just try to be confident, optimistic about it.
That's why I can't blame Saleh, because this was your number 2 pick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you couldn't take nobody else.
And yes,
you couldn't take nobody else.
Aaron got hurt, but you showed confidence in your number 2 pick. You know what I mean? And he was on a 3-game winning streak, and then now it's just bad. It's time to move.
You benched your number 2 pick last year.
Yeah, but for Aaron, though.
No, you didn't bench him last year for Aaron.
Right.
And then you benched him in the offseason for Aaron.
So that's what I'm saying. It's one dude playing.
This is a bad quarterback team. They need to
They desperately do. Well, a team has their quarterback, the Dallas Cowboys, and Dak Prescott led the Cowboys to another blowout win over the Carolina Panthers yesterday. But I will tell you why that win, to me, was meaningless for the big picture of the Dallas Cowboys when we return. Don't forget, check us out every day on the Fox Sports channel on Sirius XM.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.